Can a victim become the person that's actually the perpetrator along with the person that victimized her? That's the question we got when it comes to Cassie. A lot of people call us victim shamers, and we understand that it can come across that way, but we simply just have questions based on someone's actions. Considering the gravity of this case when it comes to Diddy and Cassie, the questions in our minds are only warranted. And one of the reasons we ask this question is because of certain things that have come to light during this testimony that have come forward in the Diddy case. One of the things that happened was the revelation of a tape that Cassie has that shows her in a pretty bad light. About around 2014, she had made a phone call where she was seemingly threatening an individual for having copies of a freak off video of her and Sean. Now, it came out in, of course, this trial, and what she said in this video, or at least in the recording, is quite damning. Okay, I'm going to read it for you as to what she said, so I don't misquote nobody. This is what she says, and by the way, she admitted that this is her voice. This is her. She said it. I'm going to kill you. I will hide you and cut you up and put you in the effing dirt. Then Diddy's gonna kill you. Now, I'm not quite sure of, look, I've not been in the situation where I've been the a victim of a lifelong abuse and sexual exploitation. So I'm not going to claim to be somebody who knows the psyche of an individual that does that or has been through it. However, from the people in my hemisphere that I have known that have been through similar situations, this does not seem par for the course for their reaction to somebody and when they say themselves that they have been a victim. Now, you have to ask yourself these few questions. Because she said, did he put her up to it, by the way? If Diddy put you up to it, did he tell you to say those words exactly? Because from what you said, he told you was to don't let him out of your sight. Now, hear me out. How does don't let him out of your sight translate to I'm going to kill you? It doesn't seem as though you were asked to do that. It seems like you did a little, extra. Now, what promotes you to do that particular extra flowering on top of the cake? What makes you do that? The only thing we can think of is that you're trying to stay in the good graces of this individual. So on that level, I could say, well, the abused person is trying their best to not get abused anymore, so they go completely over the top. Let's say that's scenario one. Or scenario two, initially you were abused, and eventually you became okay with it. And you started to kind of like it. Hence why, also in your own testimony, you would reach out to Diddy to ask him when we are having the next freak off, and you went ahead to plan it. I understand that the logic is, well, she's just trying to make sure she keeps herself safe. At some point, you got to ask yourself, why not just contact the authorities? You get what I'm saying? Like, you went to the level of this, but not to the point of contacting people that you know could stop what's going on. It doesn't seem logical. And I know people are going to say, well, abuse isn't logical. And just because someone's abused doesn't mean they can do that. But she eventually did. She eventually did. Now, here's my question. When was she going to tell the authorities that she said something like this? Why would it have to come out in discovery? You get what I'm saying? It's almost feels as though she might have been, might have been a part of this on her own reconnaissance. Not coercion, not forcibly, not from abuse, but from want. Did Cassie actually start to enjoy the lifestyle of the freakiness that Diddy had? And she wanted to be part of it, and she actually loved it. But then it became a little bit too much for her, and she decided to leave to go to somebody else. Mind you, she still reached back across the fence to try and talk to him again. So don't be telling us that we have no reason to think about it like this. Her behavior does not suggest coercion. Her behavior suggests adaptation and liking it. Now, mind you, there is no phone records of her getting a call saying that she should be keeping an eye. No proof of Diddy saying it. There's proof of all kinds of things, including phone calls and records of Diddy saying things to people, but oddly enough, not this one. To this magnitude, you would think there would be at least one recording somewhere, one text exchange, something, a text back saying, "Yes, I did what you said. I am keeping an eye on him." Nothing, no dates, none of that. So now we just have to go based on your phone call that you made to somebody else on behalf of somebody you said told you to do it, but there's no proof of that. And you went to the extreme of threatening the person's life. The person is still unknown, by the way. We believe she's not a passive victim. We think she has motive, and the motive is that she really didn't want to let go of the activities that she was a part of, which is why so far the two people that have come forward saying they witnessed these particular parties said that she did not seem adverse to it. They didn't see any coercion. They didn't see anybody being forced, and especially not people being drugged to do it. So it does not lend credence to the whole abuse factor within the confines of the sex parties. If you want to go to the hallway incident, definitely abused. No problem. I will 100% agree with you. Then stick with that. But as far as these parties and that death threat, that doesn't sound like anything that has been evidentiary wise proven that Diddy told you to do. Now, if that's the case, that could help again the defense, not the prosecution. Because if the defense can say, well, listen here, you have somebody on your side that was 100% on board with this. That's not coercion, and it's definitely not trafficking. Now, if you want to also say that if you are looking at that way, the prosecution to say you're just trying to undermine the victim. This is exactly what a manipulated person would do. He would discredit the victim, make the victim feel as though they're the ones that. It's a twofold thing, but right now the evidence points to the latter in favor of the defense. That this particular person seemed to be quite happy with the situation. One, by contacting Diddy to get into a freak off, and then telling him she'll plan it, and then conversely calling somebody to threaten them about a tape with them on it. It just seems to us that there's something amiss. There's something amiss. There's something not right about this situation when it comes to Cassie, that she might have been playing a bigger part than she wants to lead on, and that it might be a place for her to get out from responsibility from her role in it. And if that's the case, it's problematic for people who really are victims. Now, I'm not saying she might not have started out that way, but don't forget, even if Diddy was pursuing her, she still pursued back. Please remember, she pursued back. Please let me know your thoughts. You still stick to the idea that she is a 100% victim and all the things she's doing is because of the abuse? Do you think that she had a hand in it? She started to like it and she started to plan these events because she wanted in on it? Or three, at the end of the day, she's not a victim at all. And she and Diddy were working hand in hand because they were both perverts and they loved what was going on. And then because of certain things becoming more about money, she decided to throw him under the bus. Let me know your thoughts below, because I think at the end of this case, we're going to see a culture shift when it comes to women coming forward saying they've had something happen to them, if it turns out that she was indeed a part of the system. We look forward to reading your comments.